Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to Guitar Summit 2025. Today, we're not going to talk about guitar amps or guitar speakers or about pedals or guitar cabs. No, we're going to talk about guitar cables. And if you're still watching, that means you are a real guitar tone nerd. Welcome. This is your video, and you're not going to be disappointed, because today I'm going to ask all the stupid questions that you have never dared to ask. Stuff like, what's the difference between a speaker cable and an instrument cable? But you also sent me a lot of nerdy questions about oxygen-free copper, gold-plated connectors, all that kind of stuff. And the good news is that I'm not alone on this channel today. I'm here with a real guitar cable expert. This is René from Klotz in Bavaria. Yes, one of the leading brands for guitar cables and a lot of other cables.
Yes.
Welcome.
Welcome, and yeah, thank you very much for having me here.
I love your cables, by the way. Using a lot of them.
Great to hear that.
Not only the guitar cables, but also I got a lot of your mic cables. Are you ready?
Let's go for it.
The main question is, do guitar cables have a sound? And why do they have a sound? Give us an overview.
So in general, the cable itself doesn't sound, or it doesn't really have an own sound, but it influences the sound. The length of a cable, the conductor cross-section, the capacity, all these things matter to influence the sound between your guitar and the amplifier.
Okay, is it just taking away something, basically?
It's not adding anything.
Okay. And does the perfect cable exist? Is there like technically the perfect cable that works for everyone?
Technically, yes, but for your ears, not, because I hear differently than you do, and you've got a different taste as well. So that's why we have like 10 different instrument cables, because an artist like Joe Bonamassa, he likes it more rougher, a bit warmer from the sound.
Okay.
Other people like it really completely clear, Steven Wilson, for instance, without coloring anything. And that's...
Okay, what are the parameters that define the sound of a cable?
One big thing is obviously the length. The longer it gets, the higher the capacity, the dampening effect, and everything is working on the signal.
That means the longer the cable is, the darker my tone gets, right? Basically, or
exactly. The more frequencies especially in the higher frequencies, you cut them off. It's like a filter, which is like pressing down the frequencies. The capacity of the cable itself is a very important part of this whole game. Let's say like this. And
what defines the capacity of a cable? Is it the material or the...
No, it's the, how should I say, you've got the conductor inside where the signal runs. Then you've got a dielectric. This is like the material around the conductor. And then you've got the shield. Yeah. One shield, double shielded, whatever. The distance between the shield and the conductor and the amount of gas or air in between that defines more or less the capacity. Let's bring it down. You've got the conductor, then you extrude around the dielectric. We press mechanically a gas into this material, because then it's consistently through it's everywhere the same gas amount in there, and then you extrude the shield around it. It's one process. And so the distance, the amount of gas, and as well the carrying material, this is more or less responsible for that, how this cable sounds then at the end, and how big, how high the capacity is.
Okay. And the capacity or capacitance, like a lot of people say, I don't know, we're both German. Capacitance seems to be the main parameter at Klotz. On your website, you can choose between different capacity values, right? Each cable has a certain value that goes from
65 to 115. This is our range, more or less.
And 115 means more high frequencies or less? Less.
So the higher the capacity is, the more it affects the sound. It's like a filter. And if you go underneath the 65, that's what we figured out, the sound is way too harsh. It's going to be really because all the high frequencies come through, and the higher mids, they run then stronger into the signal. They come
Interesting.
In.
That used to be the case. I remember like 20, 30 years ago with the early...
You're not that old.
No. With the early wireless systems.
Yeah.
They felt like way too direct and just felt weird, because I think that was exactly what you just described.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So when we come back to the 90s and we were thinking about all the Nady systems in the back, then you had those like the sounding guitars, and then you had the other effect when they were way too direct.
Okay, yeah, there is a sweet spot.
Yeah.
Okay, I just gotta look up your questions. Where do we continue? Next question is, do cables actually introduce noise? So are maybe more expensive cables, do they have less noise than cheaper cables? Is that an issue?
Let's say it like this. If it's a high quality cable, then not. And every other quality brand as well not. So
that means if I buy one of the more affordable Klotz ones compared to the high-end ones, there shouldn't be any difference in noise.
They should not crack. They should not, I don't know, do any kind of noises by moving. But there is obviously some, let's say, imported cables, which are cheaper, which you can, I don't know, buy for €8, €9, dollars, whatever. They can't be done mechanically in this way like high quality brands produce, and then you have this kind of noise which affects your sound.
Which leads us to the next question. What makes a cable expensive?
It's a mix of material, obviously, and craftsmanship. Labor.
Yeah.
And everything what comes with it. So as well the quality controls. When you purchase a cable now and you want to have the same cable in 7 years again, then it's supposed to sound the same, or to be the same cable. And to keep this standard, to have this consistency in this everything, that makes this everything more expensive.
I'm sure a lot of people don't know that, and they are too afraid to ask. So what's the difference between a speaker and an instrument cable? To guitarists, they kind of look the same, almost.
Let's say like this: if you plug in a speaker cable into a guitar signal, you hear it quite quick, because it's like humming and doing very strange noises. There's two main things. The first part is an instrument cable is built up completely different. You've got a coaxial system, so if you've got the conductor, and around there comes the shield or the shields. Standard speaker cables are like a pair of cables, and then they're twisted, and they've got a way higher cross section, because from an amplifier to a loudspeaker, there's really power coming. You've got energy running through, and energy causes heat if it's like too narrow. Let's say like this. That's why you need the higher cross section, but you don't need a shield around that, because the signal is too strong and it breaks everything, or it pushes it away. And for the instrument cable, you need the shield around, because especially with this high impedance inputs of the amplifiers, you collect all kind of everything what's around, and that's why they're really built up differently. They have to be built up differently. You could use instrument cable better to connect a speaker, but don't do that, because it's gonna melt in the worst case.
It's not made for those.
No, it's not made for this. But you can't really use a speaker cable for your guitar to plug in, because it's
gonna pick up. It's gonna sound noisy, right?
Totally. It's gonna whistle and do really strange things.
Talking about whistle and strange things, somebody asked about balanced guitar cable. I mean, studio guys like me love balanced signals, microphone signals or balanced line signals, because you can run them forever, basically.
Exactly.
Why don't we do that in the guitar world? Have like one more connector and then have a balanced signal, and don't worry about all this bullshit we've been talking about. Just the perfect signal.
In general, this is a question what we are asking ourselves as well quite a lot of times, why it is like this, and why we don't change that whole thing as well. The connector, you could have connectors which really connect better,
right?
But the main thing is, a guitar is a guitar. You've got a passive pickup in there. You've got an amplifier with an high impedance input, and then you've got the cable. And this whole thing is a circle which defines your sound. So if you start then switching the technical part of it, it wouldn't sound the same anymore.
Okay. Your guitar expects a high impedance input,
Exactly.
the amp, and then the cable in between. That's how it behaves like it behaves. And yeah, okay.
If you use still a passive pickup, you would influence this sound.
Yeah.
If you use an active pickup, you can absolutely do it then in a balanced way.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you just use like active pickups, you could run then through this, because this whole circle is not working like in the classical setup with a high impedance input. So if you want to change that, if you want to have a balanced signal in between, you go with 1.5 meters down to your DI box or reamping kit, and then you, I don't know, go for 10 kilometers with an XLR cable, and then you put it back.
And you go back into the high impedance world and go into your
Exactly.
amp. Right. Okay. Talking about active and passive pickups, somebody asked, what's the best way to preserve my guitar signal, like the output of my passive pickup? A very low capacitance or a buffer pedal or something.
Yeah, there is not the perfect way for it. It's always depending a bit of taste, what you want, and how your whole signal chain works. I'm a friend of keeping the signal as it is, like short cable with a low capacity, and then working with that signal. But there's sometimes situations where you have then as well a lot of pedals behind that, when you have all kind of things which influence your sound, and then it's sometimes really worthy and then necessary to have this buffer and to bring the signal up.
And maybe a matter of taste again, depending on
it's a matter of
if you're
taste,
a Bonamassa or a Stephen Wilson and what you want, so to
exactly.
say. Yeah. Okay.
And as well, it's not the perfect capacity for a cable.
That's interesting.
Because
I think I should do a video where I compare like what was it, 65? What is that, picofarad or something? No.
picofarads.
Cable and 100 something.
Yep.
Let's see if we can hear the difference.
You can actually.
Yeah.
We've been to the US and talking with guys in big studios, and they were really laughing at us. Like, yeah, come on, guys. We've got the best cables in the US, and
snake oil
and whatever. And then they start really recording a being these cables, and the difference between a really good brand, and I don't want to blame anyone here, and then bringing ours in. It was the titanium series from us. You could really, first of all, you could see it on the display, and secondly, you could really hear the difference.
Okay, so now let's move on into the myth section of this video. Do cables have a direction? I remember, I think that used to be Vovox. They recommended to play the cable into one direction. I gotta be honest, I never heard the difference, but that might be me. So, what's your take on this?
Technically, no. We would say no, or we are saying no. There is brands like you said, Vovox, or as well in the hi-fi world, it's a lot of brands.
There's a lot of weird shit in the hi-fi world.
Who are telling this? To be honest, I never heard it neither. And as well, like just talking physics, it's electricity runs no matter
way,
how, in both ways, no matter how the cable is plugged in. Let's say like this: if you hear a difference and you feel great with that, then go for it. That's the most important part of that. And
you've got to believe it.
Yeah, and if as well the other brands say, okay, we found a way to support you in this, and we put all kind of effort into that this cable works out in this direction. We couldn't find this, but others maybe did.
Maybe they did.
And
went beyond physics.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
maybe. Okay.
Yeah.
Next one. Oxygen-free copper. Is that a thing or a myth?
It is a thing. Oxygen-free copper has got one big advantage. You don't have an hydrogenic embrittlement.
Ah.
Yeah.
I do have that sometimes. Yeah. What is that?
So when you heat up the while soldering, there is a reaction with an oxygen-free copper. It doesn't allow to gas out hydrogen and then to have a corrosion in the soldering joint.
Okay, so you get a better connection.
You would have a better
okay.
connection, but this happens above like 500 degrees soldering.
Uh-huh.
If you heat up the material above 500 degrees. If you start to heat up a connector of an instrument cable, I don't know if you ever tried that, above 500 degrees, it's going to melt down anyhow.
Okay.
So it doesn't really...
Practically,
it's not happening in our world.
Okay.
We use an ETP copper, which is not an oxygen-free copper. It's an almost oxygen-free copper. We're talking about a small percentage in between. But the purity of the material is I would say, the more important part of that everything than having an oxygen-free copper. We don't really use it. It's as well a bit more expensive to get produced.
Okay.
Obviously.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But it's not a myth.
It's not. There is a technical difference, and as well, I think there's people who can hear a difference.
Okay. Then we have gold-plated connectors.
Yep.
Myth or not?
No myth at all, but I think misunderstood.
Mm-hmm.
Gold-plated connectors are used especially for joints which stay connected. For instance, your speaker cables, mm-hmm. like the active speakers you have, mm-hmm. the XLRs. Mm-hmm. Mostly, or high quality speakers, you've got like gold contacts on the speaker side, and you use gold contacts for the XLRs.
Plug them in once in my line and leave them there.
And you leave them there, and then you don't have any kind of corrosion on the connectors. Okay. That's why as well HDMIs or USBs are sometimes with gold. Mm-hmm. For guitar cables, which you plug in and plug out, and you always like rub it and it cleans it, you don't have like this corrosion then on the connector. Oh, okay. So if you like it, look-wise...
if you never unplug your guitar...
If you never unplug them, or if you have them in your pedal board, and you leave it like this, obviously it would be better, but it doesn't influence the sound. So
you offer both?
We offer both. Yeah, for different cables, we offer both.
Next one, silver-coated copper cables. That somebody said that's a thing in the hi-fi world because it has a lower impedance. Myth or not? Have you heard about that?
Yep. Silver has got one big advantage. It's got the conductivity of a cable, or the material itself, is higher. The highest conductivity in metal is silver, or has silver. Mm-hmm. And then comes copper, and then a lot underneath it comes gold. Gold is even worse conductor.
And that means it can be thinner, or
it could be thinner, and you could add something with silver because you get more through it. Mm-hmm. And that's why as well in the hi-fi world there's some pure silver cables and not just coated cables. The main difference for the user would be silver is 100 times more expensive than copper. Now, I think more or less. But just having like 3-4% more output coming through silver.
I own 2 Ferraris, and so I might just go for the silver version, right? So
you should then, because it matches then as well with your watches you're having, and you showed me before, and
so you say it's just not worth it because it's way more expensive and just a tiny bit more.
Exactly. Yeah. You could. I mean, it works. You hear the difference, but you can have it as well in different ways. You can, if you upgrade the cross section of your of the conductor, mm-hmm. then the whole impedance is lower, and so you get more signal running through.
So you make it thicker.
You make it thicker, and bit more copper is less expensive than adding the silver around. If you're a small company and you're doing this and you're having your niche things to build up, you know, and you extrude it in this one run and you've got one cable, you can do that. But for us, it's really important. We're producing in Germany, close to Würzburg. And so for us, it's really important that the whole process, what we're having, is a standard process. We can build a lot of long runs of cable, because then you can have as well a a price point, or you reach a price point which is affordable
Yeah.
when still made in Germany.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And so we could add all these kind of things which then come additionally to it and would have as well an influence on the sound. But this is something we are not following up because our thing is really to have a great standard cable and to have the setup as well done every time the same.
I didn't know you were in Würzburg. That's actually pretty close to me. I thought you were deeper
Close to Würzburg.
in Bavaria.
No,
it's not far away from me, actually.
No.
Okay, yeah.
Whenever you want to, just
show
call
up.
me and we show you the factory.
Good beer as well. That's Franconia, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I have a few more questions. Talking about the diameter and the length, is that the same thing if I make a cable thinner or longer? Is that the same effect, reducing the higher frequencies?
A bit, yeah.
Or is there a difference between...
Cross-section. We're talking just about the cross-section. If
Yeah,
you add a lot of rubber around, it doesn't influence
No,
it.
of course not. Yeah. Can I compensate a longer cable with
A bit,
more
yes.
copper? Okay.
A bit, yeah. But the main effect is the capacity.
Okay. Are there any cables better suited for bass or guitar? Or is that a taste thing again?
It's a taste thing again. 25 years ago, we started with our signature series, and it was the TM Stevens Funkmaster series. We designed a cable in the way TM liked it. You can't influence a certain frequency. You can't say, okay, we go now, 400 is my favorite frequencies and 400 hertz, and we push it. Yeah. Sure. You can't do that, but you can influence a bit the sound of it. And we designed a cable which is a bit more percussive, a bit more funky like he wanted it to. And so you've got a little mid boost there, and you don't have this, how should I say, saturation in the bass frequencies too much.
Okay.
And so you've got in the mix then everything you start hearing your bass guitar better, comparing it with other, let's say, bass chord cables. As well, matter of taste. If you like it with more bass, go for it.
Wow. Okay.
But you can use it as well for guitars.
Sure. Final question: the best connectors and why? Are you using Neutrik or what? I think.
We use Neutrik. Is one of our biggest for the instrument cables biggest suppliers. We produce our own connectors, so starting as well with the entry level, like the kick cable, which is a really great cable for a great price within great price point, underneath 20 euros, I think, starting 3 meters street price, something like this. And as well, made in Germany completely, and we've got an own connector with an own way of connecting it. It's a kind of mix of getting soldered and then like a hex crimp around. It's more like a BNC connector.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And no returns at all from this connector. And then we start with the higher or with the more expensive lines with the Neutrik connectors. But we have, for every cable series, we have as well the pendant with a Klotz connector. So these are our two options. We used to work with Switchcraft, with Amphenol, and there's a lot of connector manufacturers.
Is there a tonal difference between,
let's say, like
an
this,
Amphenol and a Neutrik and yours?
A connector can have as well an own dampening effect or impedance, and every solder joint as well affects the sound. But it's not that the Neutrik sounds more open than the Switchcraft, let's say like this.
Thank you so much. That was enlightening.
Thank you for having me.
I'm sure there's going to be a lot of comments down there. Maybe even have a look at the video. Maybe you can even answer a few more questions.
I will, definitely.
I'm sure there will be a lot more questions popping up. If you're still watching, that means you are a total nerd. Welcome to the club. We appreciate it. Thanks to René from Klotz. I'll put some links below to some fancy cables. Now we're going to head into day 2 at Guitar Summit.
Yes.
I'm doing a workshop today. You are talking to millions of people about cables. That was a good start.
Yes.
Thanks
Have a great
again.
one.
See you in hell, motherfuckers. Bye-bye.